was trying to figure out like if I want to record two, because technically this would be the last episode, because I'm going to college tomorrow, literally tomorrow. I'm recording this the night I'm leaving. Except now I have a job and it won't give me a schedule, so now I don't know what the heck is gonna happen or if I'm gonna be able to record anymore. But you don't care about that because today is gonna be a 12 episode short episode, and you just want to sit back, relax, and listen, don't you, boy? Hello, everyone. My name is Stonsey Boy, and welcome back to Reading with Stonsey. Today, we are going to be reading only 12 pages. We're going to be reading page. Let's see. It says in front of me, I know. 148 to 160. So pretty easy. Yeah, pretty short episode. But like I said, I don't know about the future ones. If there are future ones, then just pretend I didn't say this. Okay, between you and me, cool. All right. Now, so without further ado, let's begin. Somniphobia. Kim looked up at the stained glass dome in the center of the roof over the Freddy Fazbear's Mega Pizzaplex. She grinned and spun in a circle, taking all the music and laughter, the glowing neon lights of the constant motion of the crown and the attractions. A line of cars of Fast Freddy and Pizzaplex roller coaster roared past. Kim gazed eagerly at the coaster's screaming passengers, their hands waving above their heads. She didn't want to be one of them. She wanted to go on the roller coaster first. Kim frowned and looked around. Why were her friends headed away from the coaster's line? He hurried to catch up with them and found them arguing over a Pizzaplex map. Let me see it, Alicia demanded. Her curls bouncing as she tried to snatch up the map from Cole. Cole easily held the map out of their reach. We agreed that I was the one in charge of the map. Eric sneaked up behind Cole and grabbed it. If you two are going to keep fighting over this thing, I'll hold on to it. Kim rolled her eyes. You know if they give those things away, right? We could all have one. I told you, Alicia said, her hands on her hips. That's a waste of paper. It's not good for the environment. Eric snorted. He threw his hands and indicate their surroundings. And this is? Alicia grins around. Well, yeah, that's a good point. Kim took a map from Eric. He didn't protest and instead looked at her in his usual adoring way. Kim had met her friends in the kindergarten, and Kim had known that Eric had a crush on her since the first day on the playground, and all 7 years since. He never admitted it, but it was obvious. Kim's mom and Eric thought he wasn't good enough for Kim because Kim was pretty blonde, and Eric wasn't particularly good looking. Kim didn't care about that. But she thought of Eric as a brother, not a potential boyfriend. Kim opened the map and motioned for her friends to follow her. Cole looked like he was going to argue, but when she shrugged and hurried up to her right, following a step behind her. Kim looked down at the shiny surface of the map. He realized it was upside down and then turned it over. Cole poked at the map. It's like a big donut, see? Kim gave Cole a look. Or maybe like a big pizza. Cole flushed. Yeah, that too. Eric pressed Kim's left side. He tapped the map, pointing at the cutesy illustration of the happy face bumper cars. Then he nodded over his shoulder at the real bumper cars, which were careening around the small arena. We're here, Eric said unnecessarily. You think? Cole said. Kim studied the map. It was an ordinary map with adjusted place names and directions. It was more like a series of cartoon drawings, each depicting a venue in the Pizzaplex, and each linked with the drawing of one of Freddy's animatronic characters. The drawings were prominent. The captions were under the drawings were a small print. Chica, for example, hovered over a drawing of the giant swing that was to the left of the bumper cars. To the left of the swing, a bright yellow arrow pointed to the air, a row of smiley face stick figures lining up for roller coaster cars. Kim stopped. She pointed behind them. We need to go back that way. A couple of older kids bumped into Eric and Alicia. Watch where you're going, one of the kids snapped. You can't just stop in the middle of the walkway. Alicia took Kim's arm and got her moving again. Come on, Alicia said. I know you wanted to go on a roller coaster, but we agreed to scope it all out before we choose a ride. Kim sighed. That was true. It was their first time at the brand new Pizzaplex, and they'd agreed to go checking all the options first and the best thing to do. Giving in, Kim let her friends pull her along. As they flowed with the crowd, Kim used her index finger to keep track of where they were seeing. Her finger traced over the drawing of the costume closet. It was an urban legend roleplay auditorium. The caption under the picture promised reality fun at its best. There's an entrance to the tubes, Eric said. He pointed a neon archway just past the roleplay area. The arches opened up the hallways painted black and white pinwheels that looked a lot like they were spinning. On the map, the climbing tubes looked like an entwined snakes of smiley faces, and they were formed into a shape vaguely resembling an extensive castle with seamlessly endless loops. It was Freddy's fortress. Kim shifted her gaze back to the real fortress entrance. She spotted a poster and featured a cute robot under the caption, Meet Haps, the friendly mascot of Freddy's Fortress. Peering at the illustrated map, Kim spotted a tiny rubber-treaded robot with big white hands inside one of the tubes. She smiled. After the roleplay venue and the climbing tubes, the map had a drawing of the tilt-a-whirl made to look like Chica's cupcake with multiple arms and legs. As Kim and her friends passed it, was a real tilt-a-whirl zipped around. The whipping motion stirred the air, throwing Kim's long hair across her face. She brushed it back. A shout coming from her right caught Kim's attention. A crew of Pizzaplex workers were clustered around an AR booth, which stood between a tilt-a-whirl and a theater in the middle of the Pizzaplex. Smoke filled the booth glass enclosure. The crew were trying to pry the booth open. Kim looked down at the map. On the map, the AR booth was depicted as a pristine crystal-like globe of fantasy come to life. She had a feeling no fantasy was coming to life in there today. She just hoped the AR booth was the only venue with problems. Alicia tried to drag Kim and the boys into the clothing and souvenir shop as they passed it. Alicia was a shopaholic, and her mom gave her a massive allowance. When they left the Pizzaplex later that day, Eric and Cole would probably be juggling multiple bags filled with every piece of Fazbear clothing available. Alicia thought the boys were pack mules, and they were never told her otherwise. No one but Alicia, however, wanted to go shopping now. Eric and Cole took her arms and peered her away from the retail heaven. A group would continue on. Just past the shops, the aromas of pizza sauce and cheese wafted in the main dining room enticed all four of them. Eric's stomach rumbled audibly, and Cole complaining that he was going to starve if they didn't eat now. Kim was tempted to give in to them because the pizza did smell amazing, but she knew it was a bad idea. You remember when we went to the Octopus at the county fair after we had burgers? Kim asked her friends. The boys went pale, and Alicia laughed. Of course they remembered. Whirling around with full stomach was never a good idea. Let's wait until we do after we do the rides, Eric said. Good thinking, Kim smiled as she looked down at the grinning Freddy Fazbear holding a pizza and marked the dining room on the map. As they continued on wide-eyed, Kim and her friends passed the carousel. On the map, the carousel looked like a giant sombrero. Adorable caricatures of Freddy's animatronic characters sat along the ride rim with a hat-like image. After the carousel, they passed the arcade. Eric stood chattering all the arcade games. Kim looked at the map and saw Eric had listed the games memorized. Next to the arcade on the map, a drawing of two crossed laser guns indicated the laser tag arena. Cole pointed at the drawing. We're definitely going there. Finally, Kim saw the roller coaster line stretched out toward the main walkway and pulled her friends toward it. Okay, we've been around the whole Pizzaplex. She waved the map. Only thing left is the theater. She tapped a drawing of the fairy tale-like castle. She looked at the map again. Oh, this is Little Play Kids Play area underneath it. Can we please go in the roller coaster now? Eric looked at the map. Are you sure that's everything? He told the head to look at the underside of the map. There's an index. Can I see it? Kim shrugged and handed Eric the map. He pushed his thick-rimmed glasses up in the nose and ran a finger on the index. Kim tapped her foot impatiently as she watched more kids lining up the roller coaster. Exploring was fun, but she was ready to go on a ride. Come on, Eric. Kim tried to take back the map. Wait a second. Eric clucked the map. His nose wrinkled concentration as he flipped the map on the side multiple times. What are you doing? Alicia asked. Eric held up the map, pointed at the index. There's something listed in the index that isn't on the map. He put his pudgy finger on the index listing. Kim read over his shoulder. Balora's Fitness and Flex. Eric turned the map over and ran his finger over all the illustration and attractions, showing the friends that Balora's Fitness and Flex wasn't depicted. It's not here, see? Cole frowned at the map. He's right for a change. Eric elbowed Cole. Alicia looked around. Yeah, we didn't see it when we circled the whole place either. Cole shrugged. Maybe it was a plan, but didn't include it in the final construction. It's weird that they put it in the index, though, Eric said. Kim lost her patience. Whatever, she grabbed the map and stuck it in her jeans pocket. Come on, let's go on the roller coaster. We'll check out Balora's later. This time, no one argued, so Kim led her friends to the end of the line. The map was forgotten as they craned their necks to see the high-tech cars that they soon be riding. 5 months earlier. Grady took one last look at the carousel as he checked the attraction of the to-do list on the clipboard. He felt his eyes on him and looked up. A shiny painted wooden foxy on a carousel seemed to be staring at Grady. Grady glared at the pirate fox and quickly slung his canvas service toolkit over his shoulder and turned away. He knew it was silly, but he wasn't a big fan of the animatronic characters. He didn't like that they all had big teeth and that they were looking like they were planning on something that wouldn't be good for humans. Truth was, Grady didn't love robots in general. Artificial intelligence had never been a good idea to him. He didn't think it was good for robots to have too much control. Giving Foxy one last "I'm human and you're not, so there" glare, Grody stood out into the black and white tiled floor of the Pizzaplex's main hallway. His footsteps reverberated through the empty entertainment center. Grady started to whistle, but the building's carnivorous space twisted the sound to an almost eerie wail. It's just too creepy, he thought. Actually, the whole domed facility kind of what got to Grady, though the Pizzaplex would soon be a place of fun and frivolity, at least according to the advertisements. Right now it's just a vast warehouse crammed full of dormant games and rides. It reminded Grady of an abandoned amusement park in the empty circus tent. He had no trouble imagining ghosts lurking behind all attractions. When Grady had applied to the Fazbear Entertainment answering an ad at a technician, he hoped for a nice cushy condition at the computer terminal, rarely next to a window. He hated feeling panned in, like he had no idea of being a behind-the-scenes programmer. Unfortunately, the job was a troubleshooter rather than a programmer. It was a hands-on position that required working directly with Freddy's games, rides, and entertainment venues. That meant that Grady had to be there in the big silent Pizzaplex day after day, preparing it for the grand opening. And once Pizzaplex opened, Grady would be the one of the maintenance techs. So much for that window with a view. Someone tapped Grady on the shoulder. He yelped and whirled around. Whoa, sorry, Grady. Didn't mean to scare you. Grady relaxed when he saw one of his fellow technicians, Ronan, a big, super fit guy with bushy black hair, who looked more suited to be a bouncer than a techie. Grady shuffled his feet. You didn't scare me, he said, been surprised. Like the way he'd been surprised to learn Ronan's favorite pastime was knitting. The Pizzaplex gave Grady the willies, but he wasn't actually scared of anything he'd seen so far, no matter what his imagination conjured. He knew there weren't any ghosts around here. Besides, the truth was the only thing that really scared Grady was that one thing really actually terrified him. Tate asked me to find you, Ronan said. He was ready to leave. Grady looked at his watch. We have 10 minutes left on our shift. Ronan flushed and stuck his massive hands in the pockets. Yeah, that's what I told Tate. But he said he wasn't enough time to run a full test on anything. He said we should just come back in the morning and do the rest of the safety checks. You know, I hate to agree with Tate about anything, Ronan grinned. But he kind of has a point. Grady frowned. But tomorrow's Saturday. My friends and I planned a whole day of gaming. I've already bought pretzels and chips and dip. Grady looked up at Ronan. I would have invited you, but I knew you'd say no. Ronan might have looked like he would have been an action movie star, but he hated violent video games of all kinds, and therefore wasn't up for Saturday raids. Ronan's rugged face crumpled, making him look like a scolded puppy. Sorry, he said. I'm working on a sweater for my cousin. No problem, Grady said. Heavy footsteps fluttered toward Grady and Ronan. They both looked toward the laser tag arena, which was tucked to a pool of darkness 100 feet away. Tate jogged into view, his long blonde hair flying around his head. What are you waiting for? My girlfriend got 2 huge steaks and is waiting for me at the lake. We're gonna fire up a barbecue. Come on, let's lock it up and get out of here. Grady sighed. Tate was such a pain in the butt. Although Tate and Ronan were actually Grady's age, Tate seemed to stuck in high school. When Tate wasn't wearing a Fazbear Entertainment uniform, red shirt and black pants, he was always sporting Hawaiian shirts and knee-length shorts. Even in the winter, he belonged to the same tropical island, landlocked state of 1,000 miles from the nearest beach. Tate was weird and annoying and bossy. However, if Grady was being honest, the real reason for disliking Tate was that the guy reminded Grady of someone in his past, someone he preferred to forget. I don't want to come back in the morning, Grady told Tate. Grady looked down at his clipboard. He only had 3 attractions left to check. He had a few more tests to do. Grady said, we can probably knock them out in an hour or two, and the most. I'd rather stay late than ruin my Saturday. Tate made a face. Well, I wouldn't, and I'm ready to hit it. Come on. He punched Grady's shoulder and started to stride away. Grady didn't move. Ronan looked from Grady to Tate and back again, his brows furrowed. Tate realized no one was following and turned back. It's very interesting that they decided to go for the for a new way of doing it. I don't think I've ever seen I don't think I've ever seen them try to go for a before and after type of thing, like 5 months ago, 3 months ago type of thing. I don't think I've ever seen them try to do that. So it's kind of interesting to see that right now as a new dynamic. But also, oh my goodness, I had the biggest smile when they started making references to the older Tales of the Pizzaplex books. Like when they made reference to, I think, number 2 and number 1, with number 1 having reference to the one about the girl who goes into the future, and also number 2 it talking about Haps and all that, and also talking about this book and its roleplay theater. It's actually a really cool way that they connected all 3 of them together, but also adding stuff like Chica's Twirly, which could be a thing from the past, but maybe not. But anyways, today we read pages 142 to 160. Next time we'll be reading 161 to 180. Pretty simple, pretty easy, or at least it should be. But what is also easier is that it's time for Reading Corner of the Day, doing it up Stonsey's way, Bob. Today we are learning about the Bernise Mountain Dog. He's he's a big old mountain dog. He's a big old doggy. Oh my goodness, I would love to give him all the lovins in the world. He looks like such a good boy. But before I could have any opinion, and yes, even positive, about anything in life, I should always do the one thing I always tell y'all to do, and that is to look at its history. No matter, even if I should know about it or know a lot about it, it never hurts to learn even more. It also makes you look smarter in front of your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother, everyone around you. Makes you smarter in front of your friends too, though they might not take kindly to you because you may be a nerd. Just FYI. But yeah, and intelligence isn't necessarily in knowing things. It's more in knowing and then teaching. That's why some of the nicest, smartest people you ever meet are teachers and doctors. Though I understand there are some dumb teachers and there are some dumb doctors. Intelligence also lies in how your social credibility works, because you may be the smartest man on the planet, but if your voice is never heard, how will anyone know? Well, the history of the Bernese Mountain Dog is that the most well known of the Senehund, or Swiss Mountain Dogs, the Bernese is distinguished by being the one of the only very long, silky coat. The origin of the breed is speculative at best. Some experts believe its history traces to the Roman invasion of Switzerland, when Roman Mastiffs were crossed with the native flock guarding dogs. This cross produced a strong dog that was able to withstand the alpine weather that would starve the draft dog, flock guard, drover, harder, and general farm dog. Despite their utility, little attempt was made to perpetuate them as a breed purposely. By the late 1800s, the breed was in danger of being lost. At the time, Professor Albert Him initiated a study of Swiss dogs that led to the identification of the Bernese Mountain Dog as one of the existing types. These dogs are found only in the valleys of the lower Alps, though Dr. Him's efforts, these dogs were promoted through Switzerland and even Europe. The finest specimens came from found to be Durbach area, and one of them giving the breed the name Durbachler. With the breed spread, the name changed to Bernese Mountain Dog. The first Bernese came to America in 1926. Official American Kennel Company (AKC) recognition was granted in 1937. Wow, that's pretty cool. But what's their temperament? How do I get this big old mountain dog into my home? Well, the temperament of the Bernese Mountain Dog is easygoing, calm family companion, that is, after it leaves an adolescent stage. It's sensitive, loyal, and extremely devoted, gentle with children and often reserved with strangers. It generally gets along well with other dogs and pets, and they do not do well as isolated from family activities. So keep it around and keep them social. What's the upkeep? How do I keep my little doggy up and running? Well, the upkeep of the Bernese Mountain Dog is that this dog enjoys the outdoors, especially in the cold weather. It needs daily and moderate exercise, either a good hike or walk on the leash. Enjoys bowling, although it can physically live outdoors in temperate, cold climates. It's also in tune with its human family, that it cannot be regulated to live alone in the yard. Inside, it needs plenty of room to stretch out. Its coat needs brushing 1 or 2 times weekly, much more often than shedding. The Bernese lifespan is described by a Swiss expression: 3 years a young dog, 3 years a good dog, and 3 years an old dog. All else is a gift from God. Maybe we will learn why in the health section. So, any children listening, please cover your ears. Any adults or teenagers who own a Bernese Mountain Dog, please listen up, as this is going to be talking about the health concerns, the major health concerns, minor, what they're occasionally seen with, their suggested tests to fix this, their lifespan, and a note from the book's creator. Major concerns are the CHD, elbow dysplasia, mast cell tumor, and gastric torsion. Minor concerns that are seen are cataracts, ectropin, and SAS. They're occasionally seen with hypolimnination allergies, VWD, hepatocerebellar degeneration, and hypothyroidism, PRA. The suggested tests are for the hip, elbow, and eye, cardiac, DNA, or VWD. Their lifespan is 6 to 9 years. That's not very long. And a note is said that extra care must be taken to avoid heat stroke. Very fluffy, as it says. But imagine you don't see this in front of you. What's the form? What's the function? What does it do? Well, the Bernese Mountain Dog is slightly longer than tall, though appearing square and a sturdy, large, hardy dog capable of both draft and droving work. This requires a combination of strength, speed, and agility. Its natural working gait is a slow trot, but its good reach and drive. Its thick coat is moderately long, slightly wavy or straight, providing insulation from the cold. The expression is gentle and the color is striking. Now for the tier list. 5 is the best, 4 is better, 3 is average, 2 is worse, and 1 is the worst unless it comes to grooming. Probably not going to be with this dog, though. Energy level is at a 2, not a lot of energy. Exercise requirements at a 3, so pretty average. Playfulness is at a 2, so not much. Affection level, friendliness towards dogs and friendliness towards strangers are at a 3, so average. Friendliness towards other pets is at a 4, so very friendly. For ease of training is at a 4. Watchdog ability is at a 3. Protection ability is at a 2, so pretty low. Grooming requirements, sadly, is at a 3, so pretty high. Cold tolerance is at a 5, but heat tolerance is at a 1. The healthy weight of a male Bernese Mountain Dog should be 90 to 120 pounds, and a female should be 70 to 100 pounds. The height of a male Bernese Mountain Dog should be 25 to 27.5 inches, and a female is 23 to 26 inches, because if it was feet, we'd be living in a world of giants. Oh, wow. This dog, I swear we've talked about, or at least the breed of it, and that is the dog you'll be learning about in the next episode. So, hope you guys have a fantastic, wonderful day. Be polite, be efficient, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the quicker video today. As you knew, it was only 12 pages, but next time it'll be 20. So it'll be a little difficult, but that's okay. Alright. So, super fantastic, wonderful day, and I'll see you guys next time.